So day 9 is the exact same stuff. We're just going to be in different situations, and we'll build equations using the 3 formulas on the whiteboard, and we will convert to general form where necessary. Okay, so the first question is actually quite nice. You're given slope, very friendly, and it gives us this point. I just want you to think about where that point would lie. 0, 4. Where would that point lie? X is 0 and y is, so that point is a y-intercept. So look for some hidden y-intercepts. When they're written as ordered pairs, if the x is 0, that should be jumping out at you, that's a y-intercept. So that one's really nice because if you're just going to have a slope and a y-intercept, it's so easy to build that one. Minus 2/3 x plus a 4. If you were asked to go to general, you know that there can't be any denominators. You have to have integers only. So what would I have to multiply everything by? So what'll be on the left? 3y. And then what happens when I times this right side by 3? Yeah, you'll have a cancellation on the first term. That was the whole point of multiplying by 3. And then the 4 becomes 12. Good. Now, do I move the stuff to the left or do I move the stuff to the right? Because look at the coefficient on x. Do we want that to be negative? We want it to be positive, right? So put 0 on this side. So then you'll have a positive 2x, a positive 3y, and a minus 12. Now if you look at the next one, did they give you a y-intercept? Yeah, good. They gave you x-intercept, so this one's over here this time. So you can't just go to mx plus b. If you're given a random point, which equation do you have to use? The middle one, yeah. On the whiteboard, the middle one. Anytime you're given a random point, it's this one here. I would say 90% of the class is having no problems like entering the point. Sometimes though, you guys get a little bit confused as to which slope you're supposed to use. So this one's really straightforward because they just tell you what slope to use. What goes next to x? A minus 4 or a plus 4? Yeah, minus 4. When will it switch to a plus 4? Yeah, when it's negative. And then on the left, you'll have y take away 0. So y equals 1/4 on the outside of x minus 4. Does that look like mx plus b? It's close. Mx plus b doesn't have any brackets, does it? So what do you got to do? You got to multiply in. So you get 1/4 x. And then what's 1/4 of 4? Yeah, it's just 1. Good. So if you were going to graph this guy, where would you put this minus 1? The y-intercept? Whoa. Yeah, the y-intercept. And then what does this slope tell us? Not 1 to the right. Yeah, 4 to the right. And 1 up. Oh, that worked out perfectly. Okay, so you guys are going to try number 3. This one's on you. You've done this a few times now. You're given a random point. I'll pause the video, walk around. Okay, next one. You're given a random point. So which formula? The middle one. So let's just worry about the point for now. -2, 8. Which one of those is the x? -2. So when this goes here, that will become x plus 2. You guys have spotted that pattern now, right? Okay, and then on the left side is going to be y take away 8, which we're not going to do anything with. Now what goes in for the m? Parallel to that slope. So the same. So this page wants us to stay in mx plus b. That's what they want. So this guy's going to have to go in and distribute. Remember, that distribution, that's multiplication. Right? So what's 3/2 times x? Well, that just stays the same. But here comes the harder one. 3/2 times 2. -3/2 times +2. What happens to those 2's? Yeah. Now what should I do with this -8? Good, add 8 to both sides. So then you'll have -3/2 x, and a -3 and a +8 make done deal. This one's on the test, so let me show it to you for like the 30th time. Where do you put, what do you start with when you go to graph it? You'll have to do this on the exam. This is an easy skill to remember. What do you start with? The what? The y-intercept is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Now what does this slope tell us? It's rise over run. Start with the run. What does slope dude always say? Go to the right. So how many do I go to the right? 2. And then how much do I go up or down? Down 3. Okay, that skill is for sure on the test. You'll be given an mx plus b equation, and then can you graph it? That one's in the written response, absolutely, 100%. Now you will have a page of written response that's similar to these last couple pages in your homework or in the notebook. Like it'll be like random point, random slope, perpendicular, parallel. Is it in general? Is it in mx plus b? So that will be what the written will be looking like. So no surprises. Okay. We need a slope that's perpendicular to this. So right now, that slope is -6/1. How would you make something perpendicular to that? 1/6, not negative, but positive. Good. So you have the slope. This is the new slope. And the point is 14.6. That's what you need for this equation, the middle, right? All you need is a slope and a point. So number 5, this one's on you. Build it. And for this one, we'll see if we can go to general. Or actually, that's the next section. So just try to build this one and go to mx plus b. Alright, so you have to distribute this slope into the bracket. So you get 1/6 x minus 14/6. How are you guys with that 14 over 6? You can put this in the calculator. You get my 2 point something? Yeah, so that'll become 7 over 3. Good. But initially, it's like 14 times 1 on the top and 6 times 1 on the bottom. So you get 1/6x minus 7 over 3. So then what do you have to do with this minus 6? Send it to the other side with a plus 6. And adding 6, but you want it to have a denominator of 3. So that's 18 over 3. Do you guys want me to show you how to do that on the calculator easier? Is that 11? Okay. So you had to do 1/6. Guys, pay attention if the fractions bug you. You had to go 1/6 times 14, correct? And then you go math, fraction, enter. That's how I got the 7/3. And then you had to take the minus 6 to the other side as a plus 6. So just go plus 6. And then math, fraction. You get 25/3. So I screwed up on my notes. Oh, I should have a negative in there. Negative 7/3. So I didn't screw up. Plus 6. Math fraction. Okay, there's the 11/3 like I said. Okay, so this one's okay. Okay, let's take care of these next two. Now we're going to do some more general form practice. Okay, let's take a look at this point. Is this a random point? No. What kind of point is this? Yes, good, Zach. So what format should we use? Not the middle one. Which one? The first one, right? So if you have an option to go on an easier path, I think you'd want to take it, wouldn't you? So 4x minus 8. Now we got to get to the general form. What does the general form say? Those coefficients have to be integers. Are they integers? So that's good. Coefficient on the x has to be positive. Is it positive? So what are you going to do with that y? Get it out of there. So if it's y up positive on the left, it's y negative on the right. Done deal on that one. Now number 7 is one of these that is getting you guys because there's like 3 or 4 steps. So we want to build an equation that has the same y-intercept as this. How do you get a y-intercept? What does the x have to be for a y-intercept? What does the x have to be? So go in here and make x 0. 2 times 0 minus 3y equals 12. Minus 3y equals 12. Y is 4 negative. That's the y-intercept. And it has to have the same slope as this. What's the slope of that? I don't know. But what format, if it was in, could I read the slope easily? Mx plus b. So convert this one to mx plus b. So I'm going to leave the 4x and the negative 12 on the left, take the 8y to the other side, and then divide by 8. 4 over 8 is a half. 12 over 8 divide by 3, you get, divide by 2, you get, why can't I do this? Divide by 4. You get 3 over 2. What's the slope of that line? 1/2. So you got a y-intercept, you got a slope, 1/2 x minus 4. So that's what makes these ones way more difficult. Because it's a question that's not going to be over in 30 seconds. You got to work at it. And you still have to put it into general, yeah. So that's what makes these questions quite challenging. So these are on the upper echelon of the 10C stuff that you'll see. This is some of the harder stuff. Like remember when we were finding volumes of solids? That was nice, right? Just punch a few numbers in and you're good and you're done. So these are much more difficult, right? Okay, convert to general. What do we got to times everything by? Times by 2. So we got 2y is 1x minus 8. Bring the 2y to the other side, keeping x positive. So question 8 looks a lot like your quiz question. Doesn't it look a lot like the quiz? Parallel to this line. So what do we need from that? Just the slope. And it goes to this point, random point. So which formula do I use? Okay, so I'm going to pause here. If you guys want